Hello and welcome back to the podcast, We Are Selling. My name's Lee Woodward, your coach and host, and the author of the Complete Salesperson course. Today's program is brought to you by the Agency Portal, Australia's first listed to settled execution platform. This incredible digital platform allows us to use agency sign, agency AML, the sale funding process, commission funder, agency supplier pay, and agency settlements. Agency settlements is the Pixar partner that allows the real estate digital transaction to exist. Let's get started with today's podcast. Hello and welcome back to the podcast, We Are Selling. Today, the cameras are on, and one of my original guests of all time is joining us back in the studio, Mr. Mat Steinwede. Matt, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Lee. It was like 2 weeks ago.
We started in armchairs. We're still here. So
we'll end up in rocking chairs one day.
Welcome to We Are Selling. I love it. So Matt, today we're going to discuss a topic people don't discuss, and you and I always speak about prospecting, listing. We've done all that, and the Mat Steinwede system is all packaged up. You can do that whenever you like.
Yep.
But one thing that people don't talk about is when you first come into real estate, you are on adrenaline and you are so excited about your new career. It doesn't matter how many hours you're working. I'm just loving this. I'm loving this. And then that becomes a habit of time, energy, hours. Not saying everyone did this, but a lot of people warm up on coffee and cool down on alcohol in the real estate industry.
It's true.
And then suddenly they're out of whack with their whole life. I've seen you work through 6 burnouts. So we might start with you. What happened to you handling all that before where you are now?
Well, I used to think it's that work harder, the luckier you get, the harder you work or whatever it is. And then I think you need to work hard in the beginning to get momentum. Mm-hmm. But then I think structure is very important because, we give to people all day, every day. Go here, be here, smiley face on, even on the way over here, I was in intense conversations with someone, and it takes a lot of energy, and then you've got to go home and have the demands of life as well.
Yeah.
Maybe in the early parts of your career, you don't have kids and things, but you still got to be the best you can be. My solution originally was to work 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
And I wore it like a bit of a badge of honor in a way. Like I outwork everyone, do that. And then the major burnout was about 10 years ago, and I just didn't want to sell houses anymore.
Completely fallen out of love with real estate.
Yeah, I could not take another call. So I rang Jamie, my business partner. We've been like me and him have been like the little amigos through all of our careers. And I said, I just not going to sell houses anymore. And he said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm just going to vlog or something, just something else. And he's like, are you joking? I said, no. I said, I just can't do it anymore. I have nothing left to give. He said, can you just sell like one house a month just to help the business?
Just to give us a float?
Yeah. And I said, no. I said, I'm not going to do it. And I sort of stopped for about 6 months or so. And I regrouped, but I went to the doctors, and he did blood tests and stuff, and he said, I'm surprised you're still standing because you got no testosterone. Mm-hmm. Like I had no sex drive. I looked terrible. Mm-hmm. Like I was very thin, and cortisol's through the roof, inflammation markers. I don't know if you know much about inflammation, but on the scale, strokes and heart attacks happen over 9, and that's where mine was.
Yeah, right.
But I could feel it. I just, when you
don't know what's wrong, but there's something wrong.
Yeah. And I just felt like desperately trying to find center inside of myself. So I literally walked out of the doctors, and I thought I need to sort of start exercising and all that, because you put all that aside. Too busy. Everyone's too busy.
Well, your time's not your own, because when you take on the amount of properties that you do and the amount of buyers, you don't have a life now, because, and when you're a giver, your biggest weakness is people take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And even the people around you, like the amount of people that ring and just kind of have a coffee with you, can I ask you a question, and you want to give, but there's going to come a point where there's nothing left, which is where you were.
Because energy is limited. Mm-hmm. Like I think we forget that. Like we spend more time charging our phone batteries. Yeah. Like on the way over here, I drive around with it charged all day, and I charge it at night. And when it gets low and it's like 2%, you start to panic. Like, oh, shivers. But we don't think about our own. And we actually have like a battery every day that has got so much energy. And then a lot of the time in real estate, because you've got to think, you've got to prospect for, and prospecting is a very mentally draining exercise because
It's another output.
yeah, there's no return like immediately. No, it's like you prospect for 10 years or 15 years down the track. I was talking to a lady on the way over here just earlier, just said, "Oh, Wendy, would you sell?" She's like, "Oh, not just quite yet, but that's like the 10th call I've made to her or whatever. I've got someone that might suit her thing." So
Out the front with the board.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it can be a very I think draining is the right word because you've got to make a certain amount of connects. And that's why people let prospecting go because it comes from it today, but does later. So you go chase the shiny objects.
So how do you shift time? Because people on the outside looking at you now, you're constantly in the driveway doing the sun. If not, you're in the ice bath. You Chef Daniel there going up on the nose. And then
Walking
you
to
don't
German
actually do a
Shepherd.
lot of social media for real estate. It's,
None.
Your passion and interest has now become health.
Yeah.
Yet you're still doing incredible things in real estate. How did you get more time or hours? Because it's like you shifted time, or this could be a learn for everyone. Are you there when you're there? I have lots of people say, "I'm doing these long hours," and I go, but it wasn't about long hours.
Yeah.
In the 3 hours, you could have been highly effective. How distracted were you? And I had people say to me all the time, "Oh, man, I'm so busy." Come be Lee Woodward for a week. Going between all the different places and performance levels. You're not allowed, and this is the other thing you'll explain. When you're at your level, you're not allowed a down day. It's just always got to be at peak state. How do you stay at peak state?
Been a real progress for me, like a team around you. And I think some teams, it's only what I've seen. Some teams are a bit like I'm interested in elevating Jordan, and I'm interested in, Trev doing his thing. And like, I want Jordan's profile. I spent 8 years making his profile up. A lot of teams are like the leader and then they get all these people underneath them and they don't really have a growth path. They sort of...
I love your new pre-listen kit magazine.
Yeah.
How you're off to the right.
I'm on it's like...
Call them.
Yeah, for sure. So the team's very important. But I just...
Credit to you as well.
Yeah. I've got Ash who's phenomenal. She's like a Rob. And it would fall apart without her.
People don't know Robin's in the room.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. It's over there. Yeah. At the doctor's office, I never had that before. I had a team. It was all about Matt, though.
Yeah.
It was all about Matt. If they can't keep up, sack him.
Who is Mat Steinwede?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I first had a goal to just bookend the days. So start in the morning with in the zone and do something that you like. And then the end of the day, I like to as well. And then the middle was just like the chaos part. So now KPIs are still very much a part of what we do. So everybody has a certain amount of KPIs. Jordan he wants to do 10 sales a month. Mine is 6. Trev's is 5 or 6 or 7. 2 buyer agents that are relatively new. So it's like taking a bit of work to get them up and running. I palm a lot of stuff off now, because I think Jordan's in that frame of mind where he's in that growth mode. So I don't need to be the big gorilla.
Is it palm it off or is it more leverage the opportunity?
Palm it off.
Yeah. It's trying to be nice about
Palm it off, yeah. Well, if I can do 3 quality appointments a day, that's great. And I do 10 prospecting connects a day.
Define quality appointments.
I'm ready to transact. So a lot of the listing, it's 30 years though, Lee.
Yeah.
So it's not like when you're younger, you got to go to everything.
Yeah.
So I spent 20 years doing that. And then I've been molding that ideal sort of thing for me. I really work between 9:30 and 2. That's my productive time.
Yeah.
Then I train in the afternoon. I'm not doing it. Like I'm making calls between each set. I'm making sure the team's doing their thing. Shane Smolin said a long time ago to me, he got to a point in his career where he wanted to direct traffic.
Yeah.
That's sort of a bit like what I do now. So I'll deal with people that want to sell, but they're like, it's not like a cold thing. Usually it's, Matt, we want to sell. We've got a $5 million home here. I sort of pick the properties now too. I've got to be enthused with them because if I'm not, it's really hard to sell something you don't resonate with.
Do you know, an observation, and I see this a lot with great people, but it's only after a long period of time. Even myself, I've come into this same skill set of working in the cracks.
Yeah.
And working in the cracks is, okay, I'm going to nominate the 50 people I want to communicate with this week.
Yeah.
I may not get a book session to do it, but the cracks will help me. For me, I'm at the airport and the flight's delayed. There's a crack and I can ring 15 people.
Amazing.
But if you nominate who they are in the beginning of the week, you could be very successful in the cracks.
Yeah. 100%. Well, you just summed up what I've been thinking for a long time. That's like in 2 seconds.
Clarity.
Yeah. So like this morning, I've got appointments all afternoon, which I had to move this one around just a little bit to fit it in. But so I went and trained early in the morning, which I don't usually. Usually at sun time. I've got a 2-year-old, so I like to help in the mornings because I've had 2 divorces and it's not, if I just run around doing my thing all the time, there'll be another divorce. They're very expensive, Lee, as you know.
I know.
Yeah. They're very expensive. I think I can see it differently now. So that's why the mornings for me are really important because it gets the family side going.
That time.
Yeah. And you said something to me that never left my mind. It was 20 years ago. You rang me one day when you were coaching me actually every day. I used to text you, remember?
Yeah.
My score out of the day. You rang me and I don't know what you said at the time or exactly, but how's your day or something? I said, I've done 6 market opinions a day. And you said, that's terrible.
Yeah. I said, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. And I was like shocked. I was like thinking you'd go, oh, that's amazing. You said that's terrible because you're not present and you're like, it's too much.
Yeah.
I use that same thing with Jordan now, like the same thing. I'm like, and it's the best advice because, I wasn't doing that. Yeah, sure, you're going and seeing the people, but you're not present. You're thinking about the next one. You've got this time limit, and time management is the key to our business.
Yeah.
It just is. If you don't have a team, like I think the first part is to work towards getting one, like do 5 sales consistently every month for a certain period and then maybe put in a PA after that, it's all about consistency.
I have a memory back of that. Now you said that and it was connected to when we first did your system. But I never would ever do appraisals on a Saturday because they were just so loaded with appointments. And there was this one lady who would not let me go and I had to go and see her late on a Saturday afternoon. It was a 1-bedroom apartment in DY. And I've gone into the internal laundry and just gone, and my day started to download. And she's thinking, God, he's thorough. and then I've realised what I'm doing in this 1-bedroom unit, looking in this lottery thinking, I've lost it here. I've now had out-of-body experience. Yeah. So being present is very, very important.
Yeah.
What advice have you got to the listener who's trying to balance that? You've got to go hard early. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that. You do have to go hard early. But once you get good at doing what you're doing, you do get to read the play a lot better. So you can now meet an owner and think, we could work together versus I'm trying to win this. There's a difference in that shift of energy.
Yeah. Look, I was going to say just before somewhere when we were chatting, all I do now is look at the day and look at the blocks and I go, I just got to get training in. I've got to get my 2 or 3 appointment, whatever that's going to be, and then a bit of prospecting. So they've just got to fit in there. And I think sometimes people fill up their calendar. Prospecting, they do it for a little bit and then forget about it. Like I have a saying, 1 hour a day of prospecting will change your career. 2 hours will change your life. So if you can just do it consistently, most agents aren't consistent.
Yeah.
They prospect on need, which is ridiculous because you need a listing because they've sold them all. I mean, how are you supposed to go out and find a listing? Your listings come through relationship nurturing. So it's just like consistency is the least practiced thing in our entire business. And our day is a few simple things over and over and over again.
I know myself, if I don't do something for enough period of time, there was no point doing it at all.
Yeah.
And I see these stacked calendars or 6 appraisals a day, and it's very easy to ring 100 people and speak to no one versus I made 15 quality phone calls today. And a quality phone call ends up in an extended conversation. And an extended conversation is there is no scripts and dialogues. We're actually having a real conversation like we're having a chat at a barbecue versus dialogue. And I'm the game show host and I'm saying hello, versus Matt, with everything you know about the marketplace at the moment, the war, the changes with the interest rates, the government, why are you choosing now to sell? Why have you chosen this time? And even that question itself just puts an honesty into the listing interview that you're saying, why would you do this now? With everything you know, why are you choosing to bring the property to the market? And then you get to the truth where they say, we're going overseas or this has happened. That's when you're in an extended conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So back to your thing about health. and running at peak state. That's my number one goal now, to run at peak state.
I was nervous about today's interview.
Why?
If you saw my
You don't
week,
get nervous. I asked you about 20 years ago, I said, because I used to have real sweaty hands if I had to talk anywhere. Or so. I said, Lee, do you get sweaty hands? You go, no. I'm like, oh, I'm just some weirdo then. I don't these days, but I used to.
But Matt, I'm the person who runs around airports, eats food in a hurry. It's so hard when you travel. As you've just experienced, you've been on the road doing some touring. You don't have your environment around you.
That's why I cancelled 3 talks.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, because I came back and said, I can't stick to the routine. I rang up and cancelled them all.
People watching this right now, they'll go, but I eat what I can during the day when I can, and it's a lack of preparation and planning. But I'm surprised I'm still standing after touring for so long. I really am. I feel like Mick Jagger.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's still going.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think the better you feel, the better things go. And you got to be tough. Like, it's like me cancelling talks. You know, I get paid a decent amount of money to go and talk these days. But that's not enough for me to go, I've got to eat this sumo salad thing at the airport, and I've got to eat, I just value it that much. It's the same as our days as well in real estate. There's so much wasted time. There is so much wasted time in just stuff. That's why agents wonder why they don't have a great career. I can tell you one thing, prospecting. That's it. Like, you prospect. If you did nothing else but prospect consistently every day, so 40 connects a day, 5 days a week, I don't know the numbers exactly. It's 9,800 or 9,600, one of the two. It's been a long time since I added it up. But almost 10,000 connects a year, that would blow your career apart. That'd blow it up like nothing else. But agents don't do it because they can't own the block of time because it's boring.
And we spoke about this on Ultimate Agent. Your commitment list is very different to your position description. A position description is like a work of fiction. A commitment list is, I know myself, I've got to do a podcast every week for our company, and then I'm on other ones for other companies. So recording time is a commitment, and there's no getting out of it. It comes out every week. And if it misses a week, the whole thing's a waste of time, everything you've done. So you'll be on episode 277 of this particular podcast. But it's the commitment to do it, not the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
And if everyone just had 5 commitments in their week that they're going to commit to for you, not somebody else, I think a lot of people, my boss said I've got to do this. That's not going to work.
No, you're exactly right. So a few things a day. Remember that score list? I don't know if you remember, out of 8 or whatever it was every day. I used to say, I used to text you how many connects I did for the day. And I think it was 40 or 50 back then, I can't remember. And then the score out of 8 or 10, or I had to eat well, exercise, this and that. Same thing. Still the same thing.
Same commitment list.
So it's the same thing, but more dialed in now. So with food, food is fuel. Food is not a comfort thing. And a lot of people eat for comfort. You go out there and you look at the middle-aged men out there standing at the traffic lights with bellies like this. It's too much carbohydrates. That's all it is. They are lazy and they just sit there stuffing their face. Their body doesn't know what to do with it. It's inflamed and it puts all the energy and goes like this. You know, that's really bad. It doesn't need to happen. They just eat too much. But the food that you eat, you go into a supermarket, if you go in there, they have a rack of health food. It's not even healthy, but it's a rack of health food. What does it say about the rest of the food?
Yeah.
And this is sort of like where I'm at now. Like, our body is a machine. It's an amazing machine. And it will respond to how you program it. If you want to feel healthy, look healthy, I want to get better as I get older. I was getting brown dots here and all these sorts of stuff. This is like years ago, before I met Tommy, the nutritionist. But people need to have a nutritionist in their life because they've got to understand food. I only buy food from the local farm at Finelli Organics up here now. It's the only food I buy it. If I can't get ginger and stuff, I get it from Harris Farm. I only eat that. I don't eat meat anymore. I don't eat sugar anymore. No gluten. No processed foods, no alcohol, no caffeine, no nothing.
Do you miss pies?
Not one bit. Not one bit, because I know my body doesn't like it. Because you've got to remember the inflammation marker that I had before. Inflammation is a precursor for all disease. Look at the amount of people getting cancer. Cancer, it doesn't make sense. It has trillions of dollars invested in cancer. In 50 years ago, it was like 1 in 30,000 or something. Today, it's 1 in 3.
Wow.
I don't donate to cancer research because they're looking for the wrong thing. The results are in itself. But if your body is happy, you don't get inflammation. Sleep, hydration, food, sun. That's why I stand in the sun.
You got me in the drive over making fusses. Blah, blah.
That's exactly right.
And what are you doing?
You know,
I'm making my calls in the sun.
exactly right. And you know that I'm there with Summer, maintaining my marriage because Tara's getting shower and all of that stuff, so having her time there. I've got Summer, but I'm making calls. Talking to Summer, doing our thing. But she, you know, when she's riding a bike, I'm making a quick call, blah, 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 getting the team going, stuff like that. So like you say, I'm going to use that again. I've used a lot of your things over the years, by the way. Very good. You've built my career. But I'm going to use that put it in the cracks.
Working in the cracks is, I'll give you an example. My wife's in the room, but Rob will say, I'm ready to go. I'm just going to do my hair. I could do a whole podcast. I can do a whole podcast by the time Rob comes downstairs.
Yeah.
But I have a pro studio in the house.
Yeah.
And if I had to make time for editing, nothing would happen.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was coming back from Charles Tubby's book launch on the Gold Coast and I loved it. In the morning, I interviewed the top guy in Century 21, number 1 C21. And then in the airport, the flight was going to be another 20 minutes. I did half the edit. Then on the plane, they had Wi-Fi. Oh, my God. I did another half of the edit. And then it went out yesterday.
There you go.
But none of that was booked or planned, but working in the cracks. And if people can work in the cracks, you'll see how effective you are. But you know what they do in the cracks at the moment? They're watching cat videos.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars is being lost because you do not work in the cracks. If you're scrolling, not calling established clients, you deserve nothing.
100%. Like I go to bed at the same time every night. Like 9, if I can get to bed at 9, that's great. 9:30, no later. And I have this night routine. So it's like
you rang me last night. It was about 8. I thought you'd be in bed. Yeah. So it's 9.
The other thing about work, it's really true. Once you start doing this and owning your time, the world starts to work around it. I had a client say the other day, $20-something million house. He goes, "Oh, Matt, I said, Gav, these buyers want to see your place on a Sunday for a third time. They haven't bought it yet, but it's getting close." He said, "Oh, that's summer day." Like Summer, my daughter. He goes, "That's summer day. You can't do the appointment." That's what he said to me.
That's so good.
Because everyone knows I don't work Sundays. Yeah. I will not work Sunday. I'd rather the deal fall in the ocean.
You know, my thank you for listing letter, my original one, had my schedule, and on Sundays it said family day. And no one ever rang me, but it was in my Lee's week. Monday, reporting. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when I get to work with the purchasers. Saturday, obviously, is Saturday, but Sunday, family day.
Yeah.
And just bringing that term in, that it's family day, is what you're doing there.
It's the best. And I don't do night appointments. So if people ring in, I'd say, look, I don't. Like I say family time.
Yeah.
I take care of my daughter. I help with my daughter and things. I can send Jordan know. And they say, "Oh, no, it's fine."
Jordan's available.
Yeah, I see Jordan. Because he loves it like that. They say no. They say, no, it's fine. Let's work out another time. You'll be amazed if you deliver it correctly. Yeah. You'll be amazed at how much people do actually care about protecting that time.
Matt, we've just come into a change of market.
Yeah.
Which is perfect timing for you. You love these things.
I do love these markets.
Yeah, it's like...
I've just set a new goal to be number 1 in McGrath again.
Because of the market?
Because of the market.
Yeah, perfect timing.
I think you can have record months in this climate.
For everyone who's panicking about the market, one of the great things we all need to understand is the greatest moment happens when an owner says, "I don't care what I have to pay you, I just want to get this sold." And that's the time we're moving into now, that people need to invest in the right agent to get the job done.
Totally.
What can you share about your excitement of the change of market?
Well, it's actually, and I don't mean it to be like unrealistic. Like it does play with your mind a bit. So when there's change,
you're doing top end at the moment, so you're the most effective.
Yeah. Well, that's not very good out there at the top end, but the top end is probably the slowest out of everything. But this is where the team's good because we all do different sections.
You appreciate 2-bedroom units being sold at the moment.
Exactly right. I always remember, I don't know who it was, maybe it was Brent Courtney. He died, a couple of years ago, but I think it was him. Well, he said that it was when the GFC was around, and he said, if I just did the upper end, I would have starved. Yeah. He did the units and stuff as well.
Yeah,
that thing
definitely
going on. But so I think it's a good model. And Alex Phillips, I referred a $1 million unit to him, and he did it himself with his team. I rang him and said, "Yeah, you're doing this," because the owner rang me and said, "Oh, Alex is so good." And he goes, "Why wouldn't I?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just didn't think you would." He goes, "Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a bit of diversification is good."
Defining moment, though. It's about people, not property.
Yeah.
I used to love doing top-end work. I work for any person, and what they happen to own doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I always tell that funny story of Friday morning in the real estate office and the door blows open and Mr. Kennedy throws me a set of keys and says, get me what you can for it. I've signed the contract. I'm going to Europe.
Yeah.
I caught the keys and Greg Deuce, who'll be watching this right now, said, mate, your clients are different. I said, we work in the same suburb. He goes, no, mine are weird. They don't do that. But the Kennedy family I'd represented 6 times before. But when someone throws you a set of keys saying, get me what you can for it,
Yeah.
that is the ultimate, because I was allowed to price it, method, anything, and you're so cautious.
Yeah.
And the guys go, oh, let's get rid of it today. I go, hang on, let me think about it.
No one challenges fees in this market.
No.
They just don't. As long as if they think you can get it sold.
So have you had to adjust what you're doing now? If you have, what are you doing?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've actually gone in deeper.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, because the cracks of the weaknesses of newer people, you can see it. Like the influence is, that's why I like this market, because you can influence buyers into helping them make a decision, getting them to roughly where the price is, do that on both sides, sort of. Whereas the newer buyer agents that we have, they are struggling a bit at the moment. You know, they're doing stuff, but not quick enough. Like speed is our currency. I built my career on speed.
Immediacy.
Yeah, this morning in our buyer meeting, so every Thursday we have a buyer meeting. We talk about all the hot buyers we're working with and just see if we can uncover more stuff. One of the buyer agents didn't get back to someone for 2 days. Jordan did. He picked it up. And I said, like, to me, it's like, doesn't really fit in our team like that. Like speed is everything. So in this, I always say, when the market goes down, everything you do needs to go up.
Yeah.
Get faster, get better, even better service. I like it because when the market is aggressive, people don't take care of buyers. It's just like stuff flying everywhere. This one, it's even better. You can build your profile better and market share better in this market.
Yeah.
Because you're with people. You can breathe. You can make them say, wow. You know, so it's all about managing your vibration right now.
You know, there's so much in what you've just said. The purchasing community is a community. So is the tenant community. When markets are running fast, those communities get treated terribly.
Terribly.
Where people think, now you want to speak to me?
Yeah.
Like you never called me back or even replied to my offer, and now you want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Or they forget and they go into the lounge room and say, oh, we've got all the buyers, we do the best service. They go, no, you don't. I experienced your service.
Yeah.
And I would never brought you in today just to tell you face to face you're not getting it. And yet when you do it right, it's your number one lead source.
I think it's even more, go back to this whole topic about feeling good and health and things. It's like on a frequency level. So if you're feeling great in the market now, so if you're eating rubbish and you're drinking alcohol at night because you're trying to like relax your anxiety or whatever you're doing, you're not getting the right sleep, and then you're at work trying to do this, you're actually just going to go, like, I reckon you'll end up depressed. I reckon you would end up, the market plays with your mind. There's so much opportunity. But when you're on a different frequency, my goal is to have the best body I've ever had at 55. I just turned 54. Can't believe it, but we did. At 54. So in 12 months' time, and this has been a 5-year goal of mine. So now I'm like dialing it in even more. You know Tony Denny, the billionaire?
Yeah, yes, I do.
So I know him very well. And I said to Tony, he used to sell $10,000 cars. And I was telling the team this today. And I said to Tony, how did you become a billionaire from selling $10,000 cars in Europe? Imagine
the biggest drive-through. You could say which car you want and they'd line up 6, but they were buying all the cars from the market every day.
That's it. Yeah. So he came up with technology to find the cars out there. Like Betty and Peter over there would be selling a car for $8,000. He'd go and buy it for 6, bring it back to his car yard. He sold 52, this is a while ago, he told me this part, 52,000 cars a year. And then he said, but he set it up so when they come in the car yard, they had a few cars lined up. But the processes after that were amazing. Like he captured
it. Like a drive-through.
Yeah, that's it. Made it easy with finance, made it this with the service, made it this. It was like 6 or 7 or 8, 10 touch points. And they'd literally walk out with the car.
Yeah. And that's still the same as us, attract, engage, commit.
That's it.
It's the same sequence.
Yeah. And he said, I said, but how did you get your business so good? Like imagine how many car yards around. He said, all he did every day was look at places he could dial it in more, dial the process in more. Dial it in more, until he got to this thing, which is so good that he ended up with, selling the company for $1 billion. Like amazing, just from selling $10,000 cars in the beginning. That's the same as with us. So now in this market, I look at where can we dial it in? Like how quickly can we get back to people? Even myself, I want to be optimum peak state health. I know when I'm sitting in front of an owner, I have owners ringing, and Di Bulmer had one the other day, and I've had others. They say, we're going to list our home with you because Matt, we watch Matt on Instagram.
Yeah.
If someone's that consistent and disciplined, we know you're going to be too. We're listing our home with you. So it's like
Your fitness is your business card.
the guy, Andrew Sutherland, said that many, many years ago to me. Is really fit. I said, you're so fit. He's in his 50s. He goes, yeah, because it's an advertisement for who you are. And he said, it's your business card. And I'm like, wow. So all of these things, where can you dial it in? Have you really made the prospecting calls today? Have you written the thank you cards today? Blah, 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 all these things. Dial it in. Dial it in. Don't listen to me. Listen to Tony Denny, who's done it himself. What great advice. Focus on what does optimum sleep look like. And then health has a price and it's discipline. But if you do that in that place, you'll do it in all of the areas of your life. That's sort of how I see it now. Before I was a bit disciplined at work, sort of, like I was disciplined and consistent, but I was falling apart in the other areas. Everything else just got no attention and I paid the price.
Matt, final questions for you. It's wonderful to have you in the new studio with the cameras on, because we're always on microphones only. What's something you're passionate about for the future that is important to you?
Cloud seeding. Do you know much about it?
No.
No, don't worry about it then. Chemtrails.
Very good. So explain that further.
Spray the sky with chemicals.
Oh, no, I saw your video on that.
Very bad. Yeah, I know you ask what I'm passionate about, but there's probably a couple of things. But so it's very bad for our kids. Very bad for our kids.
And on a real estate level?
Yeah. But I genuinely feel the opportunity with AI is sure it makes it easier and things like this. But I genuinely feel the opportunity is with one-on-one relationships. I think it's a bit like if a buyer agent is not that skilled in this market, it opens up, you can see the whole. I think there's going to be even more need for one-on-one relationships in the real estate industry and prospecting personally. I know they say it's old school, but door knocking, negotiating face-to-face, like these young people who are emails and this and that, it's like, I'll put this in the Claude or whatever they're doing. That's all great. And I know it's very fast, gives you good info, but I think
But it's not real.
the personal relationship, if you become that even more, it might sound so little and simple. So if Rob and Lee were selling their house and I had an offer and it was, 5:30 in the afternoon, I'd go over and sit with them and say, this is the offer. If they're in Sydney and things different, and then that experience, I think you will stand out even more in this time because I think a lot of people are going to get lazy with AI.
This is absolutely brilliant. One of my favourite slides when I'm at the course is nothing real can be threatened. And if you've got real skills versus manufactured looking skills, they're different things. And when it comes lounger in time, got to hold the words, and you're good at words, and Claude can't speak for you, this is the moment. But AI, it's brought some efficiencies in, all good. But one thing it has done is sped up how quick, how uncommitted you are. So there's a list of what you meant to do. Oh, but now I've got to do it. Yeah, meet me halfway, do it. So you've sped up that you're not committed.
Yeah.
Versus when you are committed, you don't need the list to do it. You just know what you need to be doing and you don't expect to get away with it. I think that's the difference. I know when I look at my working week and people will say to me, how do you do all that? By choice. Robin and I sit down at the beginning of the year. This is what we're going to do. We're going to be over there. But we design that. We don't have to do that, but we're committed to what we're doing at this time with the company and the people we serve. But I don't expect somebody else to do it.
No. You remember the system we created? It's still, it's changed thousands and thousands of real estate's career.
Correct.
And you remember the CMA and you'd put a letter and then you call and then you take a picture of the house and on the third day drop it off with the report. Do you know now, as of last week, it's ready in the week, we're going and doing the whole area again from scratch because some of the data's here and there and whatever, the same way.
Yep.
Like the same way. So it's going to take a lot. It takes like a year to do all of that, but we're doing exactly the same thing, person to person. Hey, Lee, it's Matt from McGrath. Just see if I can leave the report at your doorstep. No, we're not selling. Well, it's the people that aren't selling actually, and it's free. Do you mind if I just leave it? It's so impactful that it's the secret weapon for working your area. And I said to the guys, we're doing it from scratch again. We've already sent it out every year and all that sort of stuff, but we're going to go deeper. And I think that's what this market requires.
And that gets you match fit.
It does.
People don't speak about match fitness. And you and I were speaking. We were talking about
the other day.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
So Matt rings up and says, "Mate, I've just been to Perth and I did this talk and I'm feeling exhausted. How do we do it?" And I said to Matt, I said, "You've been on the bench on the speaking world and you've just gone into the grand final, whereas we're playing every day, all day. It's very different, and you've got the skill set to do it. But if you're not speaking all the time, if I had to go and do an appraisal today, I'm not doing it all the time. So you've got to get match fit. It's not about just the skills, it's that repetition, but that'll get the team match fit.
For sure.
We'll see the skip bin when you're dropping it off. Everything comes back together.
Yeah. Like Jim Rohn has a great saying, you can't pay someone to do your push-ups for you.
Yeah.
You know, like I've done burpees this morning, and burpees are the same as prospecting in the health world. Like I hate burpees. I hate them so much. But last year I made a commitment to do them every day for a year, like 20
How many
odd.
do you do?
Well, I do. They're like power burpees. So I like jump in the air.
I've seen you do it.
Yeah. So I do
It's like a
four
four
sets of 12. Because what I was doing is doing like, if I can do 50 and then I do 60, but I was getting like ineffective at the end of them. So I do like 4 sets of 12 with hardly any break, like just 10-second break and then do it again. It's very hard. Like it's,
So I used to do CrossFit,
yeah, right.
but now I'm on Pilates
Oh, Pilates.
and I'm loving it.
Yeah, I bet.
But
Show us how
everyone's
you do
got
it. Show us how you do
That's
it.
my bow and arrow.
Yeah.
But you've got to find something that you do and love and keep moving. Mat Steinwede, fantastic having you back in the studio. Love following what you're doing. Thanks for being on the program.
Thanks, Lee. Good to be here.